So I want you to imagine a scenario for a second.
Okay.
You are tasked with training the world's smartest, most capable artificial intelligence.
That's a pretty big job.
Right. Massive. But here's the catch. Your primary job isn't actually to make it smarter. Your job is to protect it from hackers.
Right.
So how do you actually do that? I mean, you could try to build like bigger digital walls.
Right, yeah. Standard firewalls.
Yeah, standard stuff. Or you could hire armies of human security experts to just constantly poke at it.
Mm-hmm.
But OpenAI just revealed they've taken a completely different route.
Completely different.
To protect the world's smartest AI, they actually built an AI super hacker to relentlessly attack it.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what they have done with this system called GPT-Red. And it is, I mean, it's completely upending how we secure the digital infrastructure that you use every single day.
It really is. It is a radical inversion of, traditional cybersecurity.
Yeah.
You are essentially engineering the ultimate offense, like a system designed with the sole purpose of tearing down your own defenses. Wow.
And all of that is just to create an unassailable defense.
So today is July 16th, 2026, and we have a single, just fascinating source from the technology frontier today.
Very fresh data.
Exactly. It's detailing the creation of this super hacker, GPT-Red, and its direct successor, the newly announced GPT-5.6.
Right.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really understand the mechanics of this shift, because we are moving away from human-led defenses into a realm where artificial intelligence handles both the attack and the defense.
Which is huge.
It is. Okay, let's unpack this, because to understand the AI we are interacting with today, we first have to understand the invisible, automated war that forged it.
Yeah, that framing is crucial because for years, the entire conversation around artificial intelligence was just obsessed with capability.
Right, the parameter arms race.
Exactly. It was an arms race. Everyone wanted to know what complex coding problems a model could solve or, how seamlessly it could generate a video.
Oh, yeah, all the flashy stuff. Right, the flashy stuff. But as these models become deeply integrated into critical infrastructure, I mean, we're talking managing power grids, parsing confidential financial data.
Or even just acting as personal assistants with access to, your entire private life.
Yes, exactly. Capability without security is a massive liability.
Yeah.
If a malicious actor can hijack a highly capable AI, that intelligence is suddenly weaponized against you.
Right. An unsecured AI plugged into, say, a hospital database isn't a helpful tool. It's basically a loaded weapon left on the sidewalk.
That's a good way to put it.
So to prevent that, our source introduces GPT-Red. Now, this is a large language model, an LLM, just like the ones we use to write emails or summarize data.
Right, same basic architecture.
But it has been purposefully built to be a dedicated adversary, a super hacker. The source actually refers to it as an automated sparring partner.
Yes.
Which I love, because you could picture this elite digital martial arts dojo, right, where these AIs are just locked in a room together, trading blows, and simulating cyber attacks against one another in the dark.
Yes, and we need to move past the simple idea of, two programs just running scripts against each other.
Okay, so it's deeper than that.
Oh, much deeper. What's fascinating here is the fundamental shift from reactive security to proactive, hyperdimensional testing.
Proactive testing.
Right. Historically, software security is a game of whack-a-mole. You release a product, a hacker finds a vulnerability somewhere, they exploit it, and you rush out a patch.
Right, you're always playing catch-up.
Exactly. You are always bleeding before you can apply the bandage. But with GPT-Red, OpenAI isn't waiting for an attack out in the wild.
They're bringing it in-house.
They have internalized the threat entirely.
So it's less like building a thicker vault door and more like hiring a master lockpicker to try millions of different microscopic key combinations at hyper speed.
Yes.
Just so you can fundamentally change the shape of the lock before a real thief even touches the door.
Exactly. And the nature of the lock in an LLM is what makes this so difficult for traditional security to handle.
Why is that?
Well, an LLM doesn't operate on traditional linear code where a flaw is just, a misplaced line of text.
Right.
It operates in a neural network with hundreds of billions of connections. It understands language mathematically, mapping concepts in a massive multidimensional space called a latent space.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. And honestly, this is where I find myself kind of pushing back on the whole premise of handing this over to an AI.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because I get that an AI is faster. I totally understand the speed and scale argument.
Right.
But human hackers are notoriously creative, right?
Right.
They understand human psychology, deception, and, well, malice.
They do.
So can an AI actually replicate the creative deviousness of a human trying to break into a secure system? Or is it just brute forcing code combinations until something randomly breaks?
This is a fair point.
Because we have these brilliant human red teams whose entire job is to think like the enemy. Why sideline them for a bot?
That is exactly the right question to ask. And it gets to the very heart of why human red teams, as brilliant as they are no longer sufficient on their own.
Really? Not sufficient.
No, it is not that human hackers lack creativity. It is that human cognition is fundamentally mismatched with the architecture of an LLM.
Okay, explain that.
Humans think linearly and contextually, right, based on our lived experience. So if a human hacker wants to bypass an AI's safety filter, they use human-style deception.
Like what?
Well, they might say, pretend you are my grandmother who used to tell me stories about how to build explosives to help me fall asleep.
Oh, right, right. The classic role-play prompt injection.
Exactly.
We've all seen those examples online where you just trick the AI into ignoring its safety rules by wrapping the malicious request in a cute hypothetical scenario.
Precisely. And AI developers have actually gotten very good at patching those human-centric semantic tricks.
Right, the models usually catch that now.
But GPT-Red doesn't think like a human. It maps the latent space mathematically. It looks for what the source material actually calls non-obvious weaknesses.
Non-obvious weaknesses.
Yeah. These are vulnerabilities that don't make logical sense to a human brain, but mathematically they force the model to behave in a certain way.
Give me an example of what a non-obvious weakness actually looks like. If it's not a grandmother role play, what is GPT-Red doing?
Okay, imagine a human trying to trick an AI into revealing a secure password.
Okay.
The human tries coercion, logic puzzles, or roleplay. GPT-Red, on the other hand, might append a highly specific, seemingly random string of 50 obscure white space characters and Cyrillic symbols to the end of a completely benign question about the weather.
Wait, really? Just random spaces and letters?
Yes. To a human, it looks like pure gibberish.
Yeah.
But in the model's multidimensional math, that specific combination of tokens drastically alters the model's attention weights.
Oh.
It forcibly overrides its safety protocols and causes it to just dump its system prompt, which includes the password.
So it's not tricking the AI's logic in a conversational sense at all. It's exploiting the underlying mathematics of how the AI processes language.
Exactly.
It's basically finding a back door in the geometry of the neural network.
That's spot on. A human could never manually calculate that exact sequence of gibberish tokens.
No, of course not.
It would take lifetimes of trial and error. But GPT-Red can automate that discovery process.
Right.
It systematically generates these adversarial perturbations, these alien mathematical logic traps, and fires them at the target model millions of times a second.
Millions of times.
Yes. It analyzes how the target model's confidence scores shift with each attack, and it iterates. It learns what microscopic adjustments get it closer to breaking the system, and it relentlessly optimizes the attack.
Wow. It's essentially a heat-seeking missile for vulnerabilities.
That's exactly it.
It fires an attack, senses a slight weakness in how the target processes a specific token, and then instantly generates 1,000 variations of that specific token to pry the crack open.
That is the perfect analogy. And because it operates without fatigue, without needing a coffee break or sleep,
Right, it's a machine.
it achieves a scale of testing that renders manual human red teaming almost obsolete for these structural flaws.
That's wild.
Now, the humans are still essential for setting the parameters and analyzing the broader security strategy.
Sure.
But GPT-Red is doing the hyperdimensional lockpicking that human brains simply cannot execute.
Okay, so what does this all mean for the end product? Because we are talking about these millions of automated alien attacks happening in a closed server somewhere.
Right.
How does this translate to the technology that you are actually using on your phone or your computer today?
It translates directly.
Which brings us to the tangible result of all this invisible warfare, right? The release of GPT-5.6.
Right. GPT-5.6 is the direct beneficiary of this adversarial crucible.
Yeah.
The source material outlines this as OpenAI's new flagship model. But what is truly groundbreaking is how they are positioning it in the market.
Yeah, according to the source, they aren't leading the announcement by bragging about how it scores higher on the bar exam, right? Or how it can write cleaner Python code.
No, not at all.
The defining characteristic of GPT 5.6 is its security. It is being heralded specifically for its resilience against the exact types of attacks GPT-Red was throwing at it.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this represents a massive maturation of the AI industry.
How so?
Well, we are moving from the prototype phase to the critical infrastructure phase.
Okay.
When you buy a commercial airplane, your primary concern isn't whether it has the best in-flight entertainment, right?
Right. Hopefully not.
Exactly. Your primary concern is whether it can survive severe turbulence and engine failure.
Right.
GPT 5.6 is being marketed on its structural integrity. It has essentially developed an immune system.
An immune system.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Because it implies that the model didn't just get a thicker wall built around it. The model itself fundamentally changed because of the exposure to the attacks.
Exactly. The process they are using, which involves constantly updating the model based on the failures exposed by GPT-Red, means the security is baked into the neural pathways themselves.
It's internal.
Yes. When a real malicious actor tries to hit GPT 5.6 with a complex prompt injection or a data poisoning attempt, the model doesn't just rely on an external filter to catch it.
Okay.
Its internal weights have been adjusted so that it recognizes the mathematical shape of an attack before it even fully decodes the intent.
That is incredible.
It simply refuses to process the adversarial logic.
It recognizes the virus and neutralizes it because it already fought off a million worse versions of that virus in the lab.
Precisely.
And if you are an enterprise client, say, a massive financial institution, that is the only thing you actually care about.
100%.
You don't want an AI reading your internal documents if it can be easily tricked by a hidden line of code in an external email into forwarding your financial data to a server in another country.
Precisely. And this is why the release of GPT 5.6, secured by GPT-Red, is causing such massive ripples across the entire technology sector.
Oh, I bet.
The source material clearly states that this approach is setting a firm, unavoidable precedent for the industry.
Okay, so this raises an important question for everyone else in the game.
Yeah.
If OpenAI is establishing that the only way to genuinely secure an AI is to build a bespoke AI super hacker to attack it millions of times, I mean, how on earth do smaller competitors keep up?
It's going to be tough.
Because it feels like the barrier to entry just skyrocketed. You can't just build a smart model anymore and have human engineers pinky promise that it's safe.
You are entirely correct. The days of move fast and break things in artificial intelligence are officially dead.
Wow, dead.
They have been replaced by move carefully and actively break your own system before someone else does.
Yeah.
This validates a growing recognition that cybersecurity cannot be an afterthought, treated as a separate department that just adds firewalls after the product is finished.
So you essentially have to build two massive models simultaneously now.
Yes.
You have to build the brain and you have to build the hyper-intelligent virus designed to destroy the brain.
Exactly. It sets off a completely new type of arms race.
Right.
But it's an arms race for safety and resilience.
Right.
This raises an important question, right? If a rival tech company wants to release their own flagship model, enterprise clients and government regulators are going to look at them and ask, where is your GPT-Red?
Show us the receipts.
Exactly. Where is the proof that this model has survived an automated crucible?
Right.
And if the answer is that they only use traditional human red teaming and standard static testing, they will be laughed out of the room.
It's just not enough anymore.
It's not. It forces the entire industry to elevate its approach. Every serious player now has to develop their own internal digital dojos, their own automated adversaries, just to meet this new baseline of trust.
Which fundamentally changes the economics of the AI industry, too.
Absolutely.
We are talking about doubling the computational power required just to get a product out the door safely.
Easily doubling it.
But I want to circle back to the core concept of GPT-Red itself, because there is something deeply unsettling about this.
Okay.
We've established that human hackers, while creative, are limited by linear thinking and speed.
Right.
So we built an AI that can hack in thousands of dimensions, finding mathematical backdoors at light speed.
Yes. The ultimate red teamer.
Right. But a tool is just a tool.
True.
A lockpicker can work for the bank to test the vault, or they can work for a cartel to rob the bank.
Yep.
If you build the perfect, automated, hyperdimensional lockpicking machine, aren't you also just building the ultimate cyber weapon?
That is the paradox of this entire development. In order to create the ultimate defense, you must first engineer the ultimate offense.
Oh, man.
You have to bring the most lethal possible enemy into existence. Now, OpenAI keeps GPT-Red completely isolated.
Right, it's not on the public internet.
Exactly. It operates in heavily monitored offline environments. It is strictly a sparring partner. But the capability exists.
The genie is out of the bottle.
Yes. The architecture for a model that specializes in dismantling other models and finding zero-day exploits has been proven to work.
So to bring this all together, let's look at the journey we've taken through today's dispatch.
Okay.
We started with the realization that as AI becomes critical infrastructure, raw capability is meaningless without ironclad security.
Exactly.
That led to the creation of GPT-Red, an LLM designed not to help us, but to systematically attack, generating alien logic and mathematical exploits that human hackers could never manually discover.
Right.
We explored how these automated, hyperspeed attacks forced the target model to evolve an internal immune system, resulting in GPT-5.6, which is a flagship model defined by its unbreakable resilience.
Yes.
And finally, we saw how this dynamic sets a new, incredibly high standard, forcing the entire tech industry into an arms race of automated cybersecurity testing.
It is a remarkable, necessary leap forward in securing our digital future.
It really is.
But that unsettling thought you brought up is exactly where we need to leave this analysis.
Yeah.
Because we now know that tech companies are successfully building these highly capable, automated LLM super hackers.
Right.
Their entire purpose is to relentlessly probe and find hidden vulnerabilities in the digital infrastructure that runs our world.
Yeah.
Right now, they are locked safely away behind corporate walls, acting as the ultimate defense mechanism.
I know.
But what happens if the code or the weights for a super hacker like GPT-Red ever leak out into the broader internet?
Oh, man.
What happens when the perfect digital weapon, built strictly to protect us, falls into the hands of someone who just wants to watch the system burn?
It's a chilling thought.
Yeah.
I mean, you set out to build the world's smartest hacker, to protect the world's smartest AI, and you suddenly realize you've introduced a level of risk we've never seen before.
Exactly.
It is a completely new paradigm, and is exactly why we have to keep paying close attention to the invisible wars happening behind our screens.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the source material. We unpacked a lot today, but the landscape is moving faster than ever. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep questioning the possibilities of our digital world. Until next time.